First, we're going to talk about the earthquake in San Francisco of 1906.
Then we're going to focus on Mount Tambora volcano located in Sumbawa Bazaar, Indonesia.
Lastly, we're going to look at the Andes Mountains located along the western coast of South America.
The earthquake magnitude was 7.9. The shaking was felt all the way from Oregon to Los Angeles, California. The earthquake and fires it caused destroyed 28,000 buildings, leaving one-half of San Francisco's population homeless, and killed approximately 700 to 3,000 people. The earthquake ruptured around 290 miles of the Earth's surface. The earthquake lasted a full minute. This earthquake is a transformed plate boundary because the North American and Pacific plates were scraping against each other going in opposite directions. Also, this earthquake was a destructive force, and the oceanic and continental crust were both involved in the making of the San Francisco earthquake of 1906. The San Francisco earthquake is a destructive force because of the high magnitude and casualties because of the earthquake. The earthquake had a magnitude of 7.9 and over 3,000 people died because of it. It also destroyed a lot of land and buildings. This is just in. There's more information on the San Francisco 1906 earthquake. Some ways that it's affecting the location right now is that after the 1906 earthquake, scientists began to study more on earthquakes and how they're caused. So now the technology has gotten better so we can understand how the earthquake is going to affect the area, and so the technology is getting better and has gotten better up to now. If we were to have an earthquake like this in the future, it would rupture the San Andreas Fault and would cost hundreds of billions of dollars to rebuild the city, and around 150,000 people would be homeless. Some ways that people have tried to protect the people in San Francisco is that other cities from around the country have sent money to repair the city and created a refugee camp for the Californians in case of another earthquake. People are also allowed to buy cottages at the refugee camp so they know that they'll be safe if there's another earthquake.
Mount Tambora is 2,850 meters tall. The last eruption was in 1967, but this was minor compared to the April 1815 eruption. Mount Tambora is a stratovolcano, which is a volcano built up from layers of hardened lava. Before 1815, it was 4,300 meters tall, but it lost much of its top during the climax of the 1815 eruption. The eruption began April 15, 1815, and did not end until July. The effects lasted long after. The worst part of the eruption was April 11th and 12th, where sounds could be heard 1,000 miles away, and it went dark at noon, even up to 300 miles away due to the airborne ash. The April 1815 eruption was said to be the worst eruption in the last 10,000 years, rated a 7 on the Volcanic Explosivity Index. Mount Tambora was formed by the Indo-Australian Oceanic Plate and the Eurasia Continental Plate. It was a convergent plate boundary. When the two plates collided, the denser oceanic plate was subducted under the continental plate. The pressure from this collision caused cracks in the crust, where magma seeps up and explodes out of the surface. Mount Tambora is a constructive force because every time it explodes, lava builds up around it and hardens, making the land more elevated. Mount Tambora is not on a mountain range due to it being on a small island in Indonesia. This just in. New information about the Mount Tambora volcano. The last time the volcano erupted, it killed 71,000 people, 12,000 of which were killed directly from the eruptions. It also caused famine and crop failure throughout the northern hemisphere. Because the effect was so widespread and long-lasting, 1816 has come to be known as the year without a summer. If Mount Tambora was to erupt again, Indonesia can expect a major temperature drop, some crop failure, and regions relying on this area for resources will suffer shortages. Diseases due to bad air quality will also be common, and of course those on the actual island will suffer from immediate death due to burns and destruction. Due to recent rumblings of the volcano last year, A 3-kilometer exclusion zone has been established around the volcano to protect people of the island.
The Andes Mountains are the largest continental mountain range in the world. They are also the highest range outside of Asia. The Andes Mountains are divided into 3 sections: the southern Andes in Argentina and Chile, the central Andes including the Chilean and Peruvian Cordilleras, and are part of Bolivia. The northern Andes are in Venezuela, Colombia, and Ecuador. The ancient peoples of the Andes, such as the Incas, have practiced irrigation techniques for over 6,000 years. The Andes rose to fame for its mineral wealth during the Spanish conquest of South America. The highest peak of the Andes Mountains is the Aconcagua of Argentina. The Andes mountain range was created by the Nazca and South American plates. The Nazca Plate, named after the Nazca region of southern Peru, is an oceanic tectonic plate. The eastern margin is a convergent boundary subduction zone under the South America Plate and the Andes Mountains, forming the Peru-Chile Trench. The South American Plate is a continental tectonic plate. The collision of these plates is responsible for lifting the massive Andes Mountains and causing the volcanoes which are strewn throughout them. The Andes Mountains are a convergent boundary. This just ends some new information about the Andes Mountains for you viewers. The Andes mountain range has many active volcanoes, which are distributed in 4 volcanic zones, separated by areas of inactivity. The Andean volcanism is a result of subduction of the Nazca Plate and the Antarctic Plate underneath the South American Plate. The belt is subdivided into 4 main volcanoes that are separated from each other by wide volcano gaps.
Fun facts!
Andes Mountains. The mountain range extends over 7 countries: Argentina, Peru, Bolivia, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, and Venezuela.
Mount Tambora volcano. Mount Tambora is over 5,000 years old.
San Francisco earthquake of 1906. The day before the earthquake was uncommonly warm.